nearly 80 miles long and 6 metres high.
As you can see, this is one of the main...
And the Romans quarried 4 million tonnes of rock by hand.
150 new internet businesses are starting up every day. Meanwhile, the growing reliance...
I do most of my business online now.
Light passes through millions of minute water droplets suspended in air.
The Open University and the BBC bring learning to life.
Daddy, how do you make rainbows?
Well,
For a free magazine with full listings of all OU programmes, call 0870 900 7788. So you can watch, enjoy and even sign up.
The world's greatest music festival is going outdoors next Saturday night. Don't miss an evening of live music at London's Hyde Park, including Dame Kiri Te Kanawa and the link-up with the last night of the proms. For information about BBC Proms in the Park, please phone 0990 143 109. Proms in the Park, brought to you by the BBC.
I don't know a single journalist worth their salt who hasn't been upset by violence.
I get scared all the time, and the more I've done it, the more I get scared.
We're just not in the business of throwing nastiness in the faces of people merely for impact.
The joy of political reporting is it doesn't involve real danger. People's careers come crashing down, but nobody actually gets killed.
Wars are seedy, dirty, nasty things, but they have to be covered as much as anything else does.
I'm amazed by the amount of good human nature that exists in dreadful circumstances.
There's always somebody who makes you realize that whatever problems that we've got personally, their problems are much worse and they're getting over them.
Through the night now on BBC One, we're joining BBC News 24.
And at this point, we welcome viewers to BBC One who've just joined us. These are the headlines that are coming up to 1:45. A man is being questioned by Northumbria police after they discovered a child's body believed to be that of the missing 9-year-old Laura Kane. The Israelis and Palestinians signed the deal to make the Wye River words a reality. The Ulster Unionists and Sinn Féin have both said they will take part in this week's crucial review of the Good Friday Agreement. Time for all the sport now. Here's Darren Jordan.
Hello again. Alan Shearer hit back at his critics in the best possible way by scoring his first international hat-trick as England trounced Luxembourg 6-0 in their Euro 2000 qualifier at Wembley. Steve McManaman opened his scoring account for the national side with a double strike before half-time, and Michael Owen provided ample evidence of his form and fitness. After coming on in the second half, he completed the scoring. With Sweden also winning 1-0 against Bulgaria, they have a 4-point lead at the top of Group 5. The real test for Kevin Keegan's men will be against Poland on Wednesday night. A win is vital there. If they draw, then England will have to rely on Sweden beating Poland if they're to have any chance of making the playoffs. Scotland moved a step closer towards a playoff spot in their Euro 2000 qualifying group with a 2-1 win over Bosnia in Sarajevo. Their goal scorers were Don Hutchison and Billy Dodds. The result was all the better as Lithuania, who were level on points with Scotland before the game, lost 4-0 to the Czech Republic. Scotland remains second in Group 9 with 3 matches remaining. Disappointment for the Republic of Ireland in Group 8. They went down 1-0 to Croatia with a goal scored by Arsenal's Davor Suker deep in injury time. That result drops the Republic into second place, although they still have a game in hand. Wales's Mark Hughes had the perfect start to his career in international management as his team beat Belarus 2-1 in Minsk. Dean Saunders and Ryan Giggs were their goal scorers. In the same group, Denmark beat Switzerland 2-1. Wales must now hope that other results work in their favour. Laurie McMenemy may be considering his future as Northern Ireland manager after the side slumped to a 3-0 defeat against Turkey in their Group 3 match at Windsor Park. McMenemy had said he'd offer to resign if he lost the backing of supporters, and there wasn't much for them to cheer. In an evenly contested first half, they fell behind to a goal from Erif Erdem just before the interval. and any hopes of an Irish revival were quickly dashed by a double strike from Erdem at the start of the second half as he completed his hat-trick in just 4 minutes.
No. Flag has stayed on. Oh, is it 3? It certainly is.
I'm just so disappointed at the way we give goals away there. And at vital times, I mean, I think it all happened within 3 minutes, really. Right on half-time and straight after. But I think it was down as much to defensive errors as anything. They capitalised, we had chances which we couldn't.
Andre Agassi is through to the 4th round of the US Open in Flushing Meadows with a victory over his fellow American Justin Gimelstob. The number 2 seed took the first set 6-1, but Gimelstob hit back in the second, breaking Agassi in the 5th game and going on to serve out the set. But Agassi took the next 2 by 6 games to 3. Earlier, 3rd seed Yevgeny Kafelnikov beat unseeded Dutchman Jonas Bjorkman in straight sets 6-1, 6-4, 6-4. Defending women's champion and number 2 seed Lindsay Davenport is through to the 4th round after beating compatriot Amy Fraser in straight sets. And Jennifer Capriati's comeback continued. She beat 11th seed Nathalie Tauzier of France 6-3, 1-6, 6-1 in their 3rd round match. Athletics, and after the recent World Championships in Seville, there was a bit more of a relaxed mood at the end of season GCU Challenge in Glasgow, with Britain's finest taking on the Americans. But it was Team USA who continued to show their dominance, led by 100 metres world record holder Maurice Green, who powered to victory in the sprint final. He was pushed all the way by Britain's Darren Campbell and 100 metres bronze medalist Dwayne Chambers. The US team triumphed overall, and Green seemed to have enjoyed the laid-back atmosphere.
And that was real pressure. Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part of this meet. You know, you can come around and have fun. It's after the World Championships. You know, you can be a little serious, but you can be a little playful also.
Finally, golf, and Lee Westwood is the leader after the 3rd round of the European Masters Golf in Switzerland. Westwood has a 1-stroke lead over Denmark's Thomas Bjorn. Defending champion, Germany's Sven Struve, is just 4 shots off the pace. And that's all the sport for now.
Thanks, Darren. Doctors have told the champion jockey Richard Dunwoody he can't race for 4 months until he's fully recovered from a bad fall. He's just the latest and most high-profile casualty of one of the UK's most dangerous sports. Many jockeys are risking their health to get ahead in a hugely competitive profession.
A day out at racecourses like Epsom, Ascot and here at York is seen by many as a highlight of the British summer. Some of the big flat racing meetings bring in crowds of over 50,000, with gate prices often as high as football's Premier League. The jockeys who ride at these meetings can earn thousands of pounds a day, and a few of racing's household names have become millionaires. But for the jockeys who work the winter jumping season, the rewards are much smaller and the risks much greater.
As they head over the next one, and Tennessee Twist is a faller, heavy faller too. Back in the field to Parsons Boy.
Jump jockeys expect to have around 1 fall every 10 rides, and they accept injury as part of the job.
I was at Huntingdon, riding a horse in front at the time. There was 20 odd runners in the race, and he just picked up for a hurdle too soon and came down and landed straight on the top of the hurdle and fired me over his head. And then, of course, with me being in front, the whole field come over the top of me, and just one happened to stand on me and just punctured my groin.
As racing becomes more competitive, the pressure on young jockeys is increasing, and the doctors who work with these young riders are concerned that many are taking unreasonable risks with their health. The problem is jockeys riding while they're still injured, sometimes with serious fractures. Dr. Clive Diggory practices in Moulton, one of the centres of British racing. He finds he's often treating jockeys for new injuries before they've recovered from an old one.
Jockeys are notoriously resilient people, and we find that they usually go back to racing 20% earlier than we've advised, and certainly 20% earlier than any other person with the same fracture would go back. I think there's a certain element of professional pride in their early return, and there's a great sort of macho culture amongst jockeys.
Part of the problem for jump jockeys is that modern training methods often stretch horses to the limit.
People train their horses harder, fitter, and they go a faster gallop from the outset in a race. Therefore, when the horse gets tired, there's not a lot in the tank, and that's when they can fall over. Also, if the horse is trained with on a high rev counter, it's not concentrating on the jumps quite as well as it would do if it was calmer. So there are just as many falls, even though the jockey's in safety gear. The falls, I'd say there's more falls now possibly than what they used to be sort of 10, 15 years ago.
Everyone accepts that jump racing will always be a dangerous way to earn a living, but perhaps too many jockeys are taking serious injury for granted.
You do think, and if you've had a bad fall, and maybe your next ride back, it's there in the back of your mind, but you get on with it once you've got going again. It's not a bother. And if it is a bother, then that's no good. That's when it's time to pack in, really.
Keith Breen, BBC News, Malton, North Yorkshire.
Estate agents may be forced to join self-regulation schemes if they fail to make suitable provision for people who are dissatisfied with their services. The government is planning new legislation to make estate agents join schemes which are currently voluntary. This tougher approach is part of the government's plan to be seen on the side of the consumer. The new law should make buying and selling property less costly and less stressful. A church in Kent has today held its first marriage in more than 650 years. Dode Church near Rochester was abandoned in the 1300s after the village was wiped out by the plague. The church has been lovingly restored by a local businessman.
It's likely that mead rather than champagne was used to celebrate the last wedding that was held here. Today, Vivian and Vincent Golding became the first couple to walk down the aisle at Dode Church in 6.5 centuries. The site was deconsecrated in 1905. Today's ceremony was held under a civil licence.
That it was a civil service in something that also has a spiritual connection was a fantastic thing for not just us but also some other people present.
The light falls right in the middle on the summer solstice. Everything about it is orientated to something a little bit special, and I just think when you walk in there it does feel there's something really amazing about it. Even though it's a civil ceremony, it gives it a really lovely resonance.
Dode Church stood untouched for nearly 600 years. It's taken almost a decade of restoration work to get it to this state. It's been a labour of love for the businessmen who bought the site.
To see a wedding, to see people enjoying themselves, to know that there could not have been a wedding since 1348 is quite magical, and I know that the couple have enjoyed it tremendously.
Vincent and Vivian may have been the first couple to wed here in 6 centuries, but they won't be the last. There are at least 6 weddings booked here before Christmas. The next is tomorrow. But it was a close-run thing. The licence to hold weddings at this site was only finally issued 3 days ago.
16 ticket holders will share the National Lottery jackpot of £10 million. The winning numbers were 3, 5, 7, 10, 14, 20, and the bonus ball was 16. Now it's time for a look at the Sunday papers. Starting off with the Sunday Times. Sotheby's sold fakes for years is the headline there. Sotheby's, the international auction house, has admitted selling fake furniture after a Sunday Times investigation established that it had been trading bogus antiques for years. Moving on to the Independent. Panic as UN flees lawless Timor is one of the headlines there. And GM bosses want to pull out of the UK. Another headline there. The top executives of Monsanto, the world's leading biotechnology firm, are pressing the board to pull out of genetically modified crop trials in Britain. The Mail on Sunday is leading with the Laura Kane story. Missing Laura body is found, it says there. And another story, judge me on merit, says William. That's Prince William there. And those are the Sunday papers. Now it's time for the weather forecast with Helen Willett.
Hello there. We've had some severe thunderstorms across the central parts of the United States tied in with this cold front. And indeed, here's a flashback at yesterday evening's radar picture. You can see some bright returns here. And as it moves its way further east, it may give further thunderstorms, even the odd tornado, which we also may see from Tropical Storm Dennis just off the coast at the moment. But there's a hurricane warning out from the Virginia-North Carolina border down to Surf City. And the next 12 hours, I think, quite telling. It looks like it'll head slowly northwest and make landfall in North Carolina. It may intensify as it passes over the warm waters of the Gulf Stream. Already it's very close to hurricane strength, so we'll keep you posted. Now, back in Britain, it's been high pressure, bringing in a taste of summer, hot and summery. 29 is 84 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday in Southampton, and with more hot weather to come today. But we are looking further south at the moment. Yesterday's thunderstorm display shown here, plenty of those storms across northern France, and they're tied in with low pressure, which looks as if it will drift northwards through today and may bring 1 or 2 of those into southern and central Britain. But the main change as we move into the beginning of next week will be low pressure and weather systems moving in from the Atlantic, bringing with them some rain, but bringing with them a change to fresher air. So you'll start to see that here as we lose the oranges, in come the yellows and the greens. So more changeable and fresher weather to come. But not tonight. Humid in the northwest in particular, with a lot of cloud around here, some patchy drizzle as well, some hill fog as well. And elsewhere, patchy mist and fog may well be a problem by morning, but it should burn away quite rapidly with the sunshine getting to work, and that sunshine lasting for many of us through the day. Although in the northwest, once again plagued by more clouds and some patchy rain or drizzle, turning increasingly breezy, even windy by the end of the day, and that rain by then I think turning a bit more persistent here. And one or two mist or fog patches may linger around some coasts further south too, but essentially a lot of fine dry weather, as I've said. Just a small chance that we will see some showers developing, about a 30% chance in East Anglia and the southeast, even the odd rumble of thunder. And once again inland it'll be hot, or very warm, certainly 27 or 28. A little more refreshing with sea breezes around the coast, and where we're plagued by sea mist as well, only 19. But the strengthening wind, as well as the cloud and the rain, taking the edge off things up in the north and west. And with just light breezes further south, I think we'll have a problem today with high levels of ozone. As you can see, 6 or 7 or 7 across most of England and Wales. That's the forecast. Bye for now.